What's up, guys? Got a question from a viewer. Mark writes, how do you deal with reactivity? I feel like I got a reactivity issue, especially when someone talks shit about me, near me, or in my face. I try not to let it harm me, but it seems I fail every time. I seriously fear myself. I fear the day that I will end up hurting someone or myself. This evening, 2 guys were on the sidewalk, and as I passed them, one of them said, "Pussy." And it took everything to keep me from reacting and just turning around and standing up for myself. And he also writes, I already had enough of getting hit multiple times by some dude last week at a party. I don't want it to happen again. And I keep reminding myself that this person doesn't know what he's doing. He might be hurt. But it wasn't enough to keep me from wanting to start a fight with him. I haven't fought a lot in my life, and that's why I need help with this, so I don't end up dead or something. And could it be prevented? I feel like if I don't stand up for myself, then I believe I am weak. What am I supposed to do? Please help. Alright, so you have a lot of mixed beliefs in there. And as far as you being reactive, you're triggered by this because I think there's a real fear that these people are a threat to you. So I'll try to take it from step by step. How do you deal with reactivity? Well, you deal with it by looking at your own triggers and the meaning that the situation gives you, right? So in this case, you feel very hurt when people say shit about you or imply shit about you. So people can say shit about me, and yeah, it might be offensive, but it doesn't really bother me unless I believe what it is they're saying about me, right? So if somebody calls me a pussy, so what? I mean, especially if it's a stranger who's not even saying it to my face, it really it says more about them than what it says about me. But if them calling me a particular name bothers me, then on some level, perhaps I believe what they're saying about me, right? Because if I'm secure in who I am and what I know and what I can do, then fuck them, who cares what they say? I mean, they're nobody. And if this is somebody you know or somebody you associate with that's saying stuff about you, then maybe that's a little bit different, but still the same applies, right? If you on some subconscious level believe what people are saying about you, then you have to look within and figure out why you feel this way, why there's a threat, or why you believe these things are true about you, if they are, right? Okay, so this evening you said 2 guys said the word pussy, and well, first of all, you don't know, or only you know, if they were actually talking about you, or they were saying something that sounded like it, or they were saying the word but it wasn't directed at you. So again, the fact that you bring meaning to this situation or this event or the words that they use, on some level, it affects you because you believe that to be true about yourself. And I'm not saying that you believe you're pussy, but on some level, you don't feel good enough, or you don't feel strong enough, or you don't feel powerful enough to defend yourself, let's just say. So let's take it to the next thing. So it takes everything you have to keep from reacting. Well, yeah, because you're understandably you're triggered, and so your immediate reaction is to react towards those people. But whether those people said such things or not, well, first of all, they're not hurting you physically, right? So it's not a threat; it's a perceived threat. And so I know you mentioned that in another instance, some guys hit you, and that's a real threat. But this passing somebody by is not a real threat, and you're somehow interpreting that as a threat, which we don't know. I wasn't there, but only you know if that was a real threat. But in any case, that's not something worth escalating. But somehow you're projecting your past experience onto this one, which is creating more of the negativity that you expect, that you don't want. But because you have that expectation, because you have that fear, and when you say fear of yourself, perhaps you fear that you can't defend yourself. So that's another thing. So you were hit multiple times, and I'm sorry to hear that you got hit. Hopefully you're okay. And you're not sure, or you're afraid what you might do, or you might hurt somebody else or yourself. And you mentioned that you haven't fought a lot before. So one of the things I can suggest is having some type of physical training, doing some martial arts or doing some self-defense course. And that is not to make you necessarily a proficient fighter, but regardless, if you actually use the skills that you learn, I think if you become more confident in your ability to protect yourself, that will calm some of your fears and your overreaction of needing to aggressively defend yourself. And I can tell you, as a martial artist myself, things don't really faze me, and I feel I'm a much different person than when I was younger and I didn't do martial arts. And I never get in fights. I pretty much avoid fights. I don't even attract situations where I have to get into fights, because the superior vibration, let's just call it, is being settled and comfortable with yourself, where you feel safe and you don't feel the need to prove or protect against yourself, because the need to protect, having the ability to protect is better than not, right? But even needing to protect is implying that there's a threat. And if you can see or change the situation where you're not attracting threats, or you're not attracting a reality where you feel threatened, then there's nothing to protect, right? And so you got to look inside yourself and think about what about you feels unsafe, what times in your life, what beliefs you have that you're not safe, or that you feel powerless, etc. And so those are the main things to look at. And can it be prevented? Yeah, it can be prevented. And you prevent that by changing your focus, right? If you're thinking about, when I turn the corner, when I turn my back, somebody's talking about me, or somebody's about to backstab me, or somebody might hurt me, then that's a particular reality that you start to create. And if you can work on your own insecurities and your own beliefs, and work on your own self-confidence, your own vibration, and if you need to, find some type of physical practice where you can strengthen your body, strengthen your mind, perhaps learn how to protect yourself. And when you can do that, then it'll make it easier for you to release resistance to a lot of the threats that you're having. All right? So it's not about standing up for yourself, or you're perceived as weak, right? Because the smarter thing to do often with these things is to not escalate, or not add to the confrontation. So if somebody says something, and let's say I walk by and somebody makes a racial slur, it could be me, it could be, why do I care? That's their bullshit, right? I'm gonna keep walking like I never heard it. Now, if somebody comes in my face and starts pushing me around or whatever, then that's a different story. Then that could be handled a different way, which is a whole nother topic. But here we're talking about expectations. And so the need to start a fight with somebody is you're creating more danger and more difficulty for yourself by doing that. Because unless you're in a real threat, like somebody can get in my face all they want and they can say stuff. They can be drunk, they can be sober. I don't really care, right? If you put your hands on me, I'm going to break it. But if you're just acting like a jerk or whatever, just let it go. Just let it go. And again, how you feel about yourself determines how you handle the situation. Because the more secure and the more confident you feel about yourself, and the more you feel like you're able to control the situation. And the more stable you are, the more level-headed you are, the easier it's going to be for you to handle it. And that vibration is very powerful. If somebody comes up to me and starts talking shit or gets in my face, and I don't blink, I don't flinch, I'm just me. I hold my power right here. You don't affect me, and I'm not worried about you. And that vibration is extremely powerful. And you can't fake it, obviously. That has to be something that you cultivate within yourself. So, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave some comments below. Thanks for watching.